What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and in this one, we go over Michigan wide receiver Donaven McCulley switching to the iconic #1 jersey, as it is all but confirmed now. Plus, we give the latest on some of Michigan's top priority targets with commitment dates nearing, including this weekend, as we talk about the big targets like Savion Hiter, Davon Benjamin, Anthony Davis, and more. Plus, the latest on 2027 quarterback recruiting for the Wolverines, as they are going after multiple top quarterbacks in the 2027 class. And we also go over where Bryce Underwood ranks amongst all the Big Ten quarterbacks in a recent Big Ten quarterback rankings from CBS. We go over all that and more in this video, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start here and talk about the Michigan football wide receiver Donaven McCulley, as he did tease earlier in April in a social media post that he would be, switching to the #1 jersey. It hasn't been confirmed, although now it looks like it's basically a done deal that he will be wearing the iconic #1 jersey as a wide receiver here for the 2025 season with Michigan, as Michigan football recently posted a video on social media from the team's media day featuring a shot of McCulley in the #1 jersey, as he was the #1 jersey number at Indiana for the 2022, 2023, and 2024 seasons. He was listed at number 13 though during Michigan spring practices, but now seems like he'll be making the move to #1, as he is looking to be Michigan's #1 receiver next season, and it seems like he's earned that #1 jersey. I mean, he's been making plays in the spring. Sherwood Moore has even compared him to another Nico Collins type of player for Michigan, so definitely excited for him. The 6'5" receiver going to be wearing the #1 jersey for the Wolverines this upcoming season, and we haven't really talked about much recruiting news here lately for the Wolverines. Hasn't been much going on, but I did want to give the latest on a couple or a few of Michigan targets set to make their decisions here soon, even this weekend, and then also here in the month of August coming up. We've obviously talked about the 5-star running back Savion Hiter. He announced that he is set to commit on August 19th, as his finalists are Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Tennessee. And obviously we've mentioned before that it seems like it's going to come down to Michigan and Tennessee, but obviously Hiter has been Michigan's #1 priority target in the 2026 class for a very long time, and Michigan definitely has got to close with Hiter, but you can't roll out Tennessee. And then also the August 19th date, don't really think it has any significance, but that is Bryce Underwood's birthday. But I believe the August 19th date is just something that he and ESPN settled on. The August 19th date, he will be announcing his decision live. But what a great birthday gift it would be for Bryce Underwood to get the #1 running back in the 2026 class, and having the #1 quarterback from the 2025 class and the #1 running back from the 2026 class in the backfield would be a scary look. And I definitely want to see that here for Michigan in the offense in the future. But also some top remaining targets is first Davon Benjamin, who was the 4-star top 100 cornerback, is actually a 5-star on 24/7 Sports composite rankings now, comes from the state of California. He has been what seems to be a Oregon lean for quite some time. However, Michigan, Lamar Morgan giving him a lot to think about, as he's got an August 2nd decision date coming here this weekend on Saturday, and the finalists are Michigan, North Carolina, Oregon, Texas, and Washington. But again, Michigan's making a strong NIL pitch. They have definitely given him a lot to think about. They do have some ground to make up here, I believe, as Oregon still does lead, but we'll just have to wait and see how it all unfolds here leading up to his August 2nd commitment date. The 4-star top 100 defensive lineman Deuce Gerald's from the state of Georgia is also deciding on August 2nd between LSU, Michigan, Ohio State, Ole Miss, and Oregon. However, it doesn't seem like Michigan will be picking up another defensive line commit here. Their defensive line class is already stacked, but seems like he'll most likely be ending up at Oregon. And then one that the Wolverines can definitely pull off is the 2026 4-star linebacker Anthony Davis, who is set to announce Saturday, August 2nd as well, between Alabama, Auburn, Michigan, and Ole Miss. Ole Miss appears to be in the lead here for him, but the Wolverines have done a good job of making up ground in his recruitment here, and Michigan remains in the mix here leading up to his Saturday, August 2nd commitment date. And then the in-state athlete and wide receiver CJ Sadler, the 4-star from Cass Tech, is set to decide Friday, August 15th between Colorado, Michigan, Michigan State, and North Carolina. Seems like he'll likely commit to North Carolina right now. Michigan hasn't really been pursuing him, as it appears there's some, off the field issues, but he's one that the Wolverines could potentially flip. But right now, North Carolina has the heavy lead in that recruitment. But Sadler recently did say to Greg Smith of Rivals that, it's just home, and Michigan has Coach Bellamy. He's been recruiting me since I was in the 8th grade, and then I also get along with Bryce Underwood and those guys there that I know already there as well. And Michigan's also in the mix with Salisi Moa. He's got a July 31st decision date. Doesn't seem like Michigan will be the pick though. So those are a couple top priority targets set to make their decision soon here. And then I also wanted to talk about quarterback recruiting for the Wolverines in the 2027 class, as Michigan is going after the 2027 5-star quarterback Elijah Haven from the state of Louisiana. And according to Steve Wiltfong of On3 in Rivals, Michigan has really emerged for him since new offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey arrived in Ann Arbor. And also Haven's father even said that, Michigan, they are in the national championship picture every year, and they're intriguing with Bryce Underwood being the guy now. And Elijah's game is not really the same, but they do share similar qualities. And the schools that have been keeping in regular contact with them is Alabama, Florida, LSU, Michigan, and Ohio State this summer. Michigan's also going after the 2027 4-star quarterback Malachi Zeigler, as according to Sam Spiegelman of Rivals, Baylor, Mississippi State, Michigan, and SMU are in the mix. And he said to potentially be a good fit at Michigan is definitely exciting to think about, and it's such a historic program and a college football powerhouse. Michigan's also going after the 2027 quarterback Keegan Croucher, as him and Chip Lindsey seem to have a strong relationship here and a strong early connection. And then also Peter Bork, a 2027 4-star top 100 quarterback from the state of Massachusetts. So, Chip Lindsey in Michigan going after multiple talented quarterbacks here in the 2027 class. And this upcoming season with new OC Chip Lindsey and freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood, I got a feeling that a lot of, more quarterback recruits and also wide receiver recruits going to have a lot of interest in Michigan once they see this new look offense. But Michigan still has to put it on display. But while we're talking about quarterbacks, David Cobb of CBS did rank the Big Ten quarterbacks, including with true freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood, as he right now seems to potentially be the starter here for Michigan. However, obviously there is going to be a competition. Sharon Moore made that very clear at Big Ten Media Days that he hasn't won the job yet, and there will be a competition here in fall camp. But Bryce Underwood came in at number 8 behind, going in order from number 1 to 8, Drew Aller, Julian Sayin, Fernando Mendoza of Indiana, Luke Altmaier, Demon Williams, Nico Iamalava of UCLA, and then also Dylan Raiola of Nebraska, and then Bryce Underwood at number 8, which for a true freshman who has not taken a snap yet, pretty good ranking right there. And he did say that, it would be impossible for Michigan's quarterback play to be worse than it was last season, considering Underwood draws comparisons to Cam Newton and Vince Young, and the Wolverines might be right there with Iowa in terms of who in the Big Ten upgraded most at quarterback. Even the most highly touted true freshman quarterbacks take their lumps though, and it would be unwise to expect Underwood to be anything close to a finished product out of the gate. If this were an upside ranking, he would be number 1, but there will be potholes to navigate in 2025. But Michigan definitely getting an upgrade at the quarterback position, which is very exciting. The whole offense is going to be a lot more easier on the eyes, a lot more fun to watch here this upcoming season. but they still got the competition to go through. Mikey Keene gonna be pushing Bryce Underwood. They brought him in from the transfer portal for a reason. Has played a lot of snaps at the college level, brings a ton of experience, and they still do have the sophomore Jaden Davis. They brought in Jake Garcia from the transfer portal as well. Still got Davis Warren in the room, so the quarterback room definitely is a lot better though here for the Wolverines, and should have much better depth than they had in previous seasons here. But with that, that's going to wrap up this video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more. If you are new around here, I greatly appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.